Hey guys, it's me Orlando. Welcome to Sin City Cycling. And as most of you know, as some of you know, I am planning another AliExpress build. I have just recently ordered all of the parts for this build, and I kind of wanted to share what my thoughts and ideas were on the routes I was going. Now, in order for me to do that, I brought up the AliExpress website on my TV in my living room. So we're going to go over there, and I'm going to point out some things on the screen. Now, I know that we could probably do this a little bit differently with some editing magic where I have a picture in a picture and all that kind of stuff. Well, I'm still new at this, so that seems rather daunting to me. So let's just go ahead and try it this way, see how it works out. And I hope you guys like it. Let's go take a look. Okay, so for this frame, I decided to go hardtail. I do like the full suspension, and I do have some back issues that would probably be easier for me to deal with if I was doing full suspension. But I went with hardtail for two reasons. One of which, it's cheaper, and the second reason is I feel like I have more control over the bike in a hardtail fashion. Nick and I had just went out to a place called Lamb's Park, and we did some riding out there, and I got the chance to test one of his mountain bikes that had lockouts for both shocks. So I was able to lock out the front and the back and feel how that feels. And I decided to go with suspension forks up front and a hardtail in back. And for the frame, I actually went with a company called BXT, and it's a 2020 design frame. You can see that I paid $241 for the frame, and it is full carbon fiber. So let's go ahead and take a quick look at the frame. And it is a 29er, and for those of you who don't know, 29 is essentially the same size as 700C. So just think of this as a 700C bike. And the frame that I got actually has the BSA bottom bracket, so it is a screw type bottom bracket in order for me to use the bottom bracket that I got with the Sensah group set that I just picked up. I'll leave a link to the description of this video below if you guys want to check out the group set. But we will be doing a more comprehensive parts video once everything gets here. But anyway, this is the frame I chose. I went with a flat black with a flat clear instead of a glossy clear, so it won't be shiny. But I guess you can get them in all these different kind of colors here. You can see we have all the different kind of colors, and they range from 234 to 289 depending on the kind of paint that you want. This is a through axle design. The rims that I've already purchased are through axle, so that's what I did for this one. Anyway, you can see the different colors here. Maybe I can go through so you guys can see what they look like on the bike. You can see the, what was that, chameleon? You know, you guys get a lot of different choices. And I'm assuming the higher price of 189 is for the more fancier paints, probably the chameleon, I would bet. That purple's pretty cool. I like that. And you can get it with logo or without logo. It looks like they have sizes up to 20 inch, and I'm 5'11". I was going to do the 20 inch, which the smaller side is my height, but I figured I'd go with the 19-inch frame. Oh, excuse me. I figured I'd go with the 19-inch frame because it will work for my size, but also because it'll be a little bit lighter. All the weight that you can save here on the mountain is going to, benefit you. Like I said, you can see that it's a BSA bottom bracket. I actually didn't know that they had a cover for the cables here, but that's a great idea. Keep the mud and the grime and all that stuff, and then still be able to remove the little set screw here to access the cables when I need to change them. You can see that it's complete carbon fiber. I believe the frame comes with just the seat post clamp. Oh yeah, here we go. So seat post clamp and adapters to make it through axle, or I believe you can do quick release on this one as well. Don't quote me on that, but I believe that's the case. I believe this is a piece for the headset. I went with the tapered fork on this one. Here, let's see if we can get any more information on this. Obviously, the measurements of the bike. Usually when you scroll down, you can see a lot of different testing methods for the different companies. They'll show this type of testing that they do. These are just the measurements and everything. And I went with the tapered fork only because it's a two different size. So we got 1 1/8 and 1 1/4 that it moves out to. So I have the tapered fork. And I actually bought their headset as well, so their headset hopefully should work fine, considering it's built for their bike. Let's see what else here. That's a normal size seat post. You can find those pretty much anywhere. I believe I did buy their proprietary seat post. We'll get there in a second. Oh yeah, okay. So you can do quick release on this frame as well. So I'm assuming that they changed the parts, but I'm going through axle. The rims that we got are through axle, and actually the rims that we got were for that War Bicycle build that I teased in the 1,000-mile update video. We were originally supposed to get a frame, just a frame for that gravel bike, but War Bicycles was kind enough to give us the entire bike. So I bought all these other parts for this other bicycle frame that we were supposed to get, and ended up having these parts left over after we got the complete bike. So that's how I have the start for this bike. I already had the rims and I already have the group set. So I figured I'd go ahead and build this one out. Let's see if we have any more info. You can see we have the height information here, and my height of 5'11" equals out to 180 centimeters. So that's why I went with the 19-inch frame, because it's just going to be a little bit lighter. I could have went a little bit smaller, but again, I don't want to have the seat post up too high. I don't want to be stretching too far, so I figured 19 would be about the middle of the road and the best direction to go on the frame. Let's see. Oh, and here it doesn't show the tapered suspension fork, but I went with the tapered head tube and suspension forks, so I will have the tapered design for this frame. These are the parts that come. Through axles I already had. I did actually buy their headset. These are the different colors of the frames. We just looked at that earlier. So these are always some built out, I'm assuming. Pictures of people who built their bikes out. I am going with single chainring as well. Oh, here. So we do actually have some product testing information, like I was saying earlier. I like when they have that kind of thing, because it shows that they care about their actual stuff if they're going to go through and do rigorous testing. And it looks like they're doing some drop tests on the handlebars and that type of thing. This looks like some ride testing. I would have to assume that they leave it in there to see how long it'll last until it fails. These are their certificates, which I don't know if we could click on those, but they're pretty blurred out, so I suppose they could say literally anything. So, I guess we can't really go by that. But I do know that BXT is a bigger company and that they are more well known. I would always go through and look at the comments and see what other people have said about the bikes. You can really learn a lot about the seller and a lot about the bike when you go ahead and look through the comments. You see all the complaints and everything that people have. I also like to look at the people who, take the time to put up pictures. Pictures speak 1,000 words, and it's nice to see how they ship the stuff. Oh, so this guy went with the Chameleon. I wonder how much he paid for that Chameleon paint. That's pretty cool. Let's see here. Oh, he's got the Chameleon too, so that seems to be a popular paint there. So anyway, that's the frame. Let's go ahead and look at some of the other stuff. Okay, so these are the other items that I got from BXT. Obviously, we just went over the frame. The frame was $241. I got some flat pedals here on the ride testing that I did with Nick over in Lambs Park. I did try flat pedals, and for mountain biking, I really did enjoy them a lot. So it's not that I may not ride clipped in all the time, but it's a nice option to have the flat pedals as well. Like I said, I also went with their proprietary carbon seat post. I figured 20 bucks, it's not a big deal. I got the tapered headset from them to match with the forks that I bought as well. So I figured I'd go ahead and, it was a little bit more money than some of the other ones. I mean, they had some other ones that were like 5 bucks. But I figured for the big expenditure of the other 5, I might as well go with the proprietary one that always works, or is already supposed to work with their frame that they make. Okay, oh yeah, that's the Sensah group set. You can see what I paid for it here. That it does not include shipping. I believe with shipping it was a little bit more. Here's the rims that I got. Take a quick look at those. And these are through axle. I believe I got just black, and so that way it would go with whatever I was going to do with it. Depending on the colors I chose and all that, I figured black goes with pretty much anything. So those are the rims. I believe I paid, what did I pay for those? 114, and those are through axle and disc brake. Like I said, the Sensah group set here that I bought is a mechanical disc, so that's why we went with disc. And as you saw in the other video, I'm not going to spend too much time on the Sensah group set. We'll do a more comprehensive parts video, but I'm just pointing out what everything came with. Like I said, we went with the BSA bottom bracket. We went with everything that you see here is going to be on this new mountain bike, including the bent bar shifters. So let's go ahead and take a look at that real quick here. I actually went with curved bars here, and I selected the curved bars because I already had the shifters. Like I said, we were going to build a gravel bike, and I bought that group set for that gravel bike, but we got the complete bike and ended up not needing it. So anyway, I'm going with a mountain bike frame with drop bars, and these are the bars I got. We paid, like I said, about 13 US, and that was with shipping. Let's see here. Suspension forks. This is one of the biggest expenses besides the frame and the group set. So the suspension forks, 160, and I believe with shipping they were another 30 bucks or so. And I'm not familiar with this company, but the reviews seem to be pretty good. The company name is obviously Blaney. Anyway, we went with a manual switch on the forks to lock out the forks instead of the cable. I didn't want to have too much stuff on the handlebars, especially considering they're already going to. Oops, sorry about that. Especially considering they're already going to be bent bars. I didn't want to have the extra cables and stuff on there, so I just didn't. I just don't want the bars messy and having to deal with another cable. So we went with the lockout, and like I said earlier, we went with the tapered fork. Let's see if I can get some other pictures of these forks here for you. Oh, these are the weights. So you can see the weight here of the forks. Looks like 1,985 grams for the 29er. And like I said, 29er is just inches for 700C. So, and like I said, we went with through axle and disc brake. And we are going with manual disc brake, not hydraulic. So we'll have to work out how that's going to work. I have some theories on how to make that work. As we know that Joe with China Cycling and Trace Velo just did their bikes with a manual non-hydraulic disc brake, and they had some problems with it being squishy. And my theory is that the brake line isn't locked down and it's allowed to squirm. So I believe that's why they're losing the pull strength. But we'll try out our theories then. Anyway, these are the shocks that we're getting. I believe they're 100 millimeters in travel. Let me scroll down here and look at the specs. Let's see, Bellini for 29, 50 grams, straight tube tapered, 100 millimeter of travel. Okay, yeah, so 120 millimeter refers to the exposed stroke, and 100 millimeter is the actual active stroke of the fork. They are built out of aluminum, and it looks like they have a 1-year warranty, which I'm sure it's going to be, you know, a pain in the ass to make them honor. So I am not counting my purchase on a warranty through Aliexpress, because I know that if I ever want to return something, it's probably going to be the biggest fucking pain in the ass you can imagine. Anyway, these are the forks. You know, this is going to be a big part of the bike. Air-filled shocks, through axle design. I'm not too familiar with this type of stuff. I'm a road bike rider, so you know, I'm not sure if this is going to work, you know, so for 150 bucks, you know, hopefully it'll work. But considering the prices of some of these other forks here in America, like Fox, what are some of the other ones? Monotal? I'm not sure how to say that. Like I said, I'm a road bike rider without suspension, but they were much more expensive. And speaking of expensive, why don't we go ahead and talk about complete price of this bike. As you can see here with the rims, with the group set, let's see, 280, the headset, so all in, and this is going to be completely built. Oh, here, all in, completely built, we're going to be at about $1,000, you know, $980 to $1,000, and that's for a carbon hardtail front suspension fork mountain bike. And I did some searching on the internet, and you know, some of the other mountain bikes that are out here. Here, let me see if I can pull it up. Let's see here. go to, like, say, Specialized. And let's take a look at their bikes. Let's go with Mountain, Trail, and they're always asking. So this one looks like it's a hardtail. Yeah, is that the only hardtail they have? Alright, so let's look at their hardtails here. And I believe this is an aluminum bike. Or, as my running joke, aluminium for you guys in Europe. So, I know you guys are saying it wrong, but it's cool. We'll correct you and let you know it's aluminum. Okay, so here we go. Here's their top of the line aluminum hardtail. We have full suspension, single ring up front. It looks, I'm not sure what their speed is there, but it looks to be at least 11. And that's for the Expert, and that's a 29-inch. So we're at $2,600 for the aluminum. And like we were already looking, we spent $1,000, roughly $1,000, and that's not counting my labor. Roughly $1,000 to build a carbon mountain bike. So, I think it's, if it holds up, it's going to be a good deal. It's going to be a fun, little project. It's going to be a fun bunch of little videos for us to make. I hope you guys do, like that and watch the whole thing. I think that's about it. I think we can close out here. As always, I am Orlando. You're watching Sin City Cycling. We just took a look at our upcoming bike build that we have. It's going to be a mountain bike build. Hope you guys like the information you got. Sorry for my amateurish way I did it. Anyway, it's good to see you. Thanks for stopping in. Peace.